Please be seated. Keep awake, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour. Imagine you're at school. It's morning and you're having breakfast, like you always do, and you're a little drowsy. And you look out the window and you see some other students walking along a path in the distance, headed to class. And suddenly, a thought comes over you, a panic-inducing, terrible thought. You should be going to that class. In fact, you should have been going to that class with them all semester. You signed up for that class, but you totally forgot to go. And it's finals week, which means you're going to fail the class, which means you are not going to graduate. Your heart starts pounding as you try to make plans in your head and arrangements to escape this academic fate, and then, ding, 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 the blessed sound of your alarm wakes you up. Turns out you haven't been a student at that school for years. Many years. And it turns out that never happened. So it sounds like some of you have dreams like this, yes? Yes. I do too. I have a high school and a college version. And in seminary, I picked up one now in the rotation that I am the preacher and forgot to write the sermon. That's fun. So research does show that these recurring dreams are very, very common. And I don't think these common templatized recurring dreams are really about schoolwork or work. I think they're parables. I think they are parables of forgetting. Imagine you're with 9 of your friends and you've been given a very special role in a very big, elaborate wedding. Your job is to accompany the groom into the reception venue using the glow of your cell phones to create a truly Instagrammable moment for the wedding photographer. The wedding planner thought this was a super great idea, but logistically it is taking forever for the groom to arrive, and you're getting drowsy. But finally, you open your eyes and you see that the groom is coming, and suddenly a thought comes over you, a panic-inducing, terrible thought. You are down to low battery mode. And you were supposed to bring portable chargers for half of the group. Your heart starts pounding as you run to the drugstore to buy chargers, whatever they're going to cost, and then you run back to the reception, but it's too late. You ruined the photo op. Your friends, the bride, and the groom, they'll probably never speak to you again. And you're certainly not going to that party. And then, maybe, the blessed sound of your alarm wakes you up. And maybe these two have been married for years. And maybe, turns out this never happened. Because maybe this too is a parable of forgetting. It is always very tempting in this patriarchal world we've got here to imagine that in Jesus' parables, the man in power is the stand-in for God. In this morning's case, that would be the groom. And that is certainly a fair interpretation. But I don't think what Jesus is up to here is telling us that God will slam the door to heaven on us if we are foolish and forgetful. I think it's more like God knows we are foolish and forgetful. All of us. And so we need these parables of forgetting. Because these parables are, in the end, about non-life and death matters, missed classes, forgotten work tasks, wedding details, admission to parties. They allow us to play out the consequences of leaving much more important matters unattended in safety. These parables remind me of how in some seasons of life, in the constant busyness of it all, I can carry on in a bit of a fog, forget how precious, uncertain, and indeed short life is, and how good and real and here God is. Maybe some of you experience these seasons too. And so, Jesus, our great teacher and preacher and pastor, breaks through that fog with parables and dreams and other human beings. And he tells us over and over and over to be prepared, to stay awake, to live as citizens of the kingdom of heaven, as though that day God's trumpet will sound is set on our calendar for Monday, November 13th, 2023. To have the tough conversations that need having now. To tell the people we love that we love them always. To engage in the projects and passions we've been thinking about for years, right away. To give our presence, time, talent, and treasure to our community consistently. To speak loudly and clearly for justice and love and against oppression, war, and senseless violence urgently. To serve God in all we do, welcoming, clothing, caring for, and visiting now. Easy, right? Yeah. Now that you've heard the parable of the 10 bridesmaids, it's just a matter of carrying it through. Of course not. Of course not. Our lives are so loud. Our attention is so fractured. Our world is so busy. It is so hard to stay awake. During this, my first week with you, I have had the pleasure of joining the mindfulness practice that takes place here on Wednesdays and the centering prayer practice that takes place on second and fourth Saturdays. And it's interesting. Both groups talked about breaking free from our constant distractions, taking these moments to put down our devices, to breathe, and be still and silent, aware of our bodies, awake. This does not come naturally to me. I am very much not a contemplative. I don't know if you've noticed. I am more in my comfort zone here on Sunday mornings with sounds and singing and constant movement. That's probably why God sends me so many forgetting parable dreams. And so these practices offered in community are a gift and a support to me. They help me remember that class I signed up for, that oil I was supposed to bring, that loved one I haven't checked in with, that human rights crisis I haven't been following, that God I haven't been paying attention to. What practices help you reorient and remember? Are there parables of forgetting you experience when you don't engage in those practices enough? I would love to hear about them. I hear there's a coffee hour after this. So please come find me and tell me about them. Keep awake, therefore, for you know neither